You know what's interesting is, as you say this, I know there's a lot of people watching this right now who are going, I feel kind of scared right now. If somebody is watching this and they feel like they are just, they're afraid to make the first step, what do you say to that person?
You can't really run in the race if you're not at the starting line and you're not ready to get set, go. There will be fear. We'll be right there with you. But you can really brush fear to the side. You can do that. Because I'm telling you, you can do that. Because when I didn't have that job, and you know one thing about a mortgage payment, they never call you from the bank and say, gee, Mr. Taulbert, we heard you didn't have a job. Don't worry about that monthly payment. No. Nothing stopped coming.
Yeah.
Everything was continuing. But the idea of movement, the idea that I could make a difference in my own life, I learned that lesson at a very difficult time. And it's a lesson I have never, ever forgotten.
I have heard you been described, a gentleman who does not know you well, but we were conversing about one of your books, and he had said, well, he's lucky. I've heard that, he's lucky. And I'm looking at this poster over here, and I don't know if we can look at this, it says luck. And Ray Kroc, he says, the two most important requirements for major success are first, being in the right place at the right time, and second, doing something about it. Now, with the Stairmaster, you had an opportunity to market this product, and it wasn't selling any units. And how many trade shows did you go to before you sold a Stairmaster? Come on now, go back there with me. How many did you?
Clay, it was awful. It was absolutely awful. The reality was awful, but the dream was driving me because I knew that Lanny Potts had something, even though the world of fitness had not recognized it.
Lanny Potts is the inventor of the Stairmaster?
He's the guy who invented the Stairmaster.
Lanny Potts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew he had something. But here's the problem is, I had no idea about physiology. I was not a health nut. I was not talking Nautilus every day.
Yeah.
But I recognized the value in that. And I set out to make it happen. It's almost like in 1803, Thomas Jefferson told Lewis and Clark, go west. Tell me what's west of the Mississippi.
All right.
Well, that's like I felt.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was west of that Stairmaster, but I knew I had to find out.
How many trade shows did you go to? I want to know, what's the number of trade shows that you went to?
I went to trade shows every year for probably 3 years.
So for 3 years you marketed the Stairmaster without getting paid?
No, they don't give you money when you're working on commission if you don't.
So you're on a commission-only basis, and you're not selling anything, so you're not really making any money. How many hours a week did you spend learning about the Stairmaster or trying to learn about how to sell it? I mean, how many hours a week were you devoting to selling this thing?
I would love to say it was like a 24/7. Obviously there was some break time and some downtime, but I had a lot to learn. But a lot to learn when you believe in what you're doing. It is not as earth-shattering as one would think, okay. But it does take a lot of time and a lot of effort. And there were, friends who told me that it wasn't going to work. You're wasting your time. But you have to know inside of yourself if you believe in what you're doing. If you're driven by something inside of you that is bigger than what the outside conversation is, that's what really matters.